r/AskReddit. What screams I peaked in high school? Me, in a horrid realization, in the back of my 92 Camaro, while icing that knee I blew out at the championship game senior year, reading through the divorce papers. Sounds like a Matt Damon movie produced by Adam Sandler and the mom from Gilmore Girls is the ex-wife. Still bullying the nerds at your 10-year reunion. Or worse, in real life. I briefly worked with a guy I went to high school with, and like 90% of our not work related conversations were him reminiscing about how much he'd bullied me in high school, and acting like it was all a big joke. A guy who graduated from my high school back in 2003 was arrested a few years ago for his second DUI. He was wearing his Letterman jacket in his mugshot. I picked up some stuff at my parents' house when I was 25. One of those things is my Letterman's jacket. Put it on, got in the car, had to stop for gas, who happens to be filling their car next to mine. My high school wrestling coach. I wonder how much of a loser he thought I was. I wasn't even that good. Sharing every memory from Facebook, talking about the good old days and wish we could go back when it's only been a few years since graduation. I do the opposite. I delete half the memories. Partying with high schoolers when you're 30. Fuck, I can't imagine this. I'm 32, and high schoolers seemed ridiculously young to me after about 23. It's strange because when you're 18 you enjoy hanging out with people that age. But when you're 23 like me, high school kids are literally stupid, loud, and just irritating. When I was their age, yeah, I bet older people said the same thing about me, but it's weird seeing it and noticing it. When I was in middle school, all of the hottest girls dated high schoolers. I couldn't wait to make it to high school to score some hot chicks. Then I became a freshman and realized those high schoolers dating middle schoolers were the lamest people on earth. Super weird. Ha ha ha. Selling pot to teenagers and then trying to get them to stay and smoke with you. I mean, I met someone who's going to be one of my groomsmen like this. Sold the kid weed, and he seemed pretty cool, so we ended up smoking and playing fighting games for most of the afternoon. Still one of my best friends, almost a decade later. Want to earn money from home and set your own hours? Hash boss babe. I can't fucking even with this hashtag. Still bragging about high school basketball games from 10 years ago. I know a guy who still brags about middle school select soccer games. He doesn't appear to have so much as jogged since then. He's 30. Selling your pyramid scheme essential oils on Facebook. My cousin uses her daughter's birthday party to sell my grandma and aunt's shitty purses. Teachers who suck up to the athletes and other popular kids and ignore the less popular kids. My freshman year Spanish teacher was like that. At my high school, a coach was worshipped by the girls' basketball team. My first year of college, it came out he had been grooming the girls since middle school, 2012. Suddenly a lot of petty fights between the girls made so much sense. We had a high school coach that all of the female athletes used to hang around. He was eventually fired and arrested for sleeping with an underage student. I dated a guy with his high school mascot tattooed on his arm. It was such a turn-off. The fight in swastikas wasn't actually a thing, but you still have every reason to be turned off. At my 10-year reunion, the prom queen came wearing a tiara with a custom Queen 03 sash over her shoulder. I had to go outside, I was laughing so hard. But I'll be damned if she didn't rock that outfit the wild time. So, respect. Still sad though. Was the sash from back in the day, or did it appear to be newly made for the occasion? No, it was new. I have a good one for this. My cousin once dragged me out to a local bar that I don't particularly care for due to its reputation. But I was going through a separation and figured I could use a night out. A guy comes up to me, clearly already drunk, and belligerently declares, "I've never seen you in here before." I replied, "That's because I've never been in here before." Him, "Well, I'm just saying I've never seen you here before." Me, "Okay." Him, "I'm John. I used to play football at the school up the road." You know the school just up the road, up on the hill? Me, "Yes, I know the school. I went to the same school." Him, "Yeah, I played football there." Me, "Good for you." Him, "I don't remember you from school." Me, "I don't imagine you do." Him, "Well, I'm just saying, I played football there, and I don't remember you." Me, "Okay." Finally he walked away. more like stumbled away. This was back in around 2013. I graduated in 04. He was 1 or 2 years ahead of me. So it had been over a decade since he graduated, and he was using his high school football to hit on chicks at the bar. He moved on to hit on my cousin, so I pretended to be her lesbian lover, to chase him off lol. She thanked me for it. Guy is a total tool and always was. As someone who recently graduated, the students who returned to the school every time they came home from school, just so people would pay attention to them. Also not sure how to explain it, but the people who now posts blank screens and just text on their Snapchat stories, that just say things like always crazy to see who you can really trust when this happens, or surprising to see who really cares about you when you need friends the most. Like I said, I don't know how to explain it, but there's definitely a correlation. Yup, vaguing, or vagabusting. From my experience, the people who vague about petty drama just haven't socially matured since they were like 16. Making any mention of SAT or ACT scores. Bonus points for that IQ test you took when you were a kid online. Not to brag, but I got a 2340 on my SAT. Dying before graduation. Dark. Turn the lights on then. When I was in high school, this guy a year before me had a fearsome reputation. At house parties, people would fear him just by name alone. He would show up to parties with his cronies and start fights. He came from a decent enough family. Everybody wanted to be on his good side. Anyway, he graduates high school, and most of us were still in 12th grade. I remember he used to come around lunchtime to smoke with the people out front, shoot the breeze, and talk about how much fun it is to just sleep in and do nothing and have all this freedom. A couple of months of cool. 2. Why are you still here? As we awkwardly shuffled back to class. I was in the NHS, so I know a little bit about leadership anytime after high school. The National Health Service. As a Brit, I'm glad someone asked this question. High school? I peaked in elementary school, and it was downhill from there. There I was, on stage in front of the whole elementary school, and I just won the spelling bee. I felt like it was the start of something great. Narrator, it wasn't. I peaked at the sperm race. Has been downhill since then. When I was in high school, the cool kids partied hard. They'd get blackout drunk and used whatever illegal substances they can get. I was looking through the profiles of some of those classmates, and a few of them are still doing the same shit. Talking gangster shit despite growing up in a middle class suburb. Talking about how they miss their kids who are in CPS custody because they went to jail for using. Going on rants about knocks, etc. They're about 27 or 28. What made you cool in high school makes you a loser as a grown-ass adult, especially when you're a parent. A guy graduated 2 years before me, in 2006. He got a job as a school narc my senior year. Basically a job that is somewhere below security and barely a step above student. We had our 10-year reunion last year in the school gymnasium, and there he was, with his sunglasses on at 8 PM, sporting a sweet Flavor Saver and Dickies shorts, with his black socks pulled up to his knees, as was the fashion for all the brothers at my high school when we attended. He was making his rounds, trying to enforce every single rule that was imposed on students. Meanwhile, we are all 27 to 29 years old, and nobody is taking his shit. Eventually someone told him, "You were a fucking tool in high school, and nothing has changed. Get lost, narc." He then started listing every girl he boned in high school. It was hard watching that guy spiral so hard, while everyone was laughing at him. Edit, a Flavor Saver is a nickname we give for the patch of hair that grows directly under your bottom lip. It's a Flavor Saver because when you go down on a woman, the juice gets in there and you can taste it later. It's just a joke we'd say cause it was very popular amongst the bro crowd in high school. Basically a guy who tries really hard to be a hard-ass because they couldn't grow beards or mustaches, but could attain one of those. That's so sad. Still drinking in the same pub you drank in as a student, because that's now full of students. So you're that guy or girl who never left home and drinks with school kids much younger than you. I get older, they stay the same age,